Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Moon here from EWPRO, getting straight into the weekly outlook. Starting with the DXY on the daily. Like I've mentioned, there's two scenarios here. This is the wave Z down and we go up and break the top. Or this is an A, B, C. I'm more inclined to think this is an A, B, C and we come down and break the low. Yeah, it's the market's very difficult at this stage. On the H4, we got that WXY. I was looking for an X2 and a Z up in here. This one's come down a fair way, a little bit too far, unless we're looking at this as some sort of a WXY, X2, Z up as a ending diagonal. But you can see here, you can really only sell this now. We have a possible bear hidden here. So we may get some sort of something up here, and then go down and break this low. And we get some sort of a flat in here for an A, B, C, or WXY, possibly going down and breaking that low. Again, the market is quite difficult at this stage. On the H1, you can only buy this. You'd be waiting for a retracement. We got a nice impulse up. I'd be looking for some sort of a correction in here and then looking for another buy, even if it's for just an A, B, C. Wherever the 100 fib is, I'd be taking half off just in case that bear hidden plays out and we go and break the low. So I'd be looking for a retrace in here or a correction, one up, and then if you got any sell set up, you could look for the sell. So you could look for a buy and a sell. AU on the daily. We'll just zoom this out a bit. So we're looking at that A, B, C, and then we get that A, B, C up to this 100 fib. We got a nice impulse up here. And when we go down to the H4, we got the nice impulse up as well. So I was just looking for a correction in here and more upside. This is quite sharp. So I dare say it's going to become more complex and we get a wave down in here, a correction. This correction may be deep and even go and break that top, and then we get another one down for an A, B, C. And hopefully this one goes up to the daily target, that 100 fib. I think it's going to be quite difficult to trade next week. On the H1, we got that like WXY, so this can keep on going, given an X2 and a Z down. This will all depend. We really need to watch what happens in here, how deep this correction goes, what it looks like, and all the rest of it, to give us an idea of if this is going to be the largest C up on the daily, or else this may become more complex. This correction here on the daily may become more complex as some sort of A, B, C, and then it goes just for an A, B, C as some sort of a larger flat. But if that happens, that'll be more than likely more downside. So again, yeah, there's really not much. It's a waiting game, really waiting for this correction. I'm really only looking for buys, but there is no buy setups. EU on the daily. So we're looking at that A, B, C, and then we get that larger A, B, C up to the 100 fib. this one here did have, well, it does have a bull hidden here. So I am looking for this to go and break that top. The H4, I'll take this count off. We were looking for that like W, X, Y, X2 and a Z down. That never happened. We got a larger wave up in here. But like I said last week, we can really only buy above that top. But on the H4 here, I dare say we'll get a bull hidden in here. And we get some sort of A, B, well, W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up. And then it may fall over or go up to that wave C on the daily. It really, it is quite difficult at this stage. On the H1, you can only sell it. That's the problem. So we got a nice impulse down. If you got some sort of a correction in here, you could look for a sell just for an A, B, C, and then you'd be looking for a buy for the bull hidden. So yeah, it could be quite choppy this week or next week. GU on the daily, we got that A, B, C, and then I was looking for that A, B, C, and I was sort of looking at this as a possible extended wave as a WXY, X2, a Z up to that 100 fib. That is still possible. Looking at the daily. H4, I dare say we will get a bull hit. Well, we already have a bull hidden here forming. So I'd be only looking for a buy. This is the invalidation point for the bull hidden. So I'd be looking for a buy in here just to go and break that top. Definitely want to get it to break even because then we'll start to get bearish divergence as soon as this top's broken. NU on the daily. Looking at that A, B, C. Again, this hasn't really played very nicely. It's looking for that like W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up in here. We can really only buy above this point because this is looking so corrective in here. Right. It's looking quite corrective, so we may get another one down. Again, like I mentioned, it is quite difficult, the market at this stage. I'm more interested in the buy though at this stage in here. Get 3 down. If you get any bullish setup, I'd be looking for the buy, but you'd have to be pretty careful at this stage on the H1. We've got 1, 2, 3 down. We don't have any bullish divergence in here. You'd have to go down onto the lower time frames and look for one more up. You definitely want to be a break even above that top there, even this one here, because ideally you'd get that 161.8 and a 123.6 in this fifth wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and if it breaks out, well, then you could keep the second half. GY, there's not much on this. This has kept on going. We got that. Well, it's turned into a WXY. So this can get up to that 161.8, then give us a correction, X2, and then a Z up. H4, we lost the bearish divergence on this, but it's still risky to buy. You know, you're buying at a top. H1, we're getting all this bearish divergence. I would be looking for, an A wave in a correction. I'll be looking to trade an A wave in a correction. If I just remove this and show you what I mean there. So this has had a big move up, starting to get that bearish divergence. So, I'd be waiting for a move down, impulse down, a correction, and then looking for to sell. And this is the A wave 5 down. And then we get a B and then a C for the larger on the daily, So we get this W, X, Y, X2, and a Z down. So you're trading the A wave in here, the A wave, then you'll probably get a B wave, and then you could look for a C down, and then you could look for more upside. Until we get this correction, I wouldn't be looking for the buys. I'd be looking to sell the A and the C, just as scalps. USD Japan. Now this isn't playing very nicely. I'm looking for that A, B, C. This has just kept on going. We don't have any bearish divergence in here, so it is quite difficult to jump in this. I was sort of looking for that A, B, C as a flat. Then we get an A, B, C before we get an A, B, C. There is, which I haven't gone into on this pair, that this is the low and it does go up and break that top. I haven't really gone into that on YouTube, but only really in the group. There's really not much you could do on this. H4, we're getting all that bearish divergence. H1, we'd be getting bearish divergence as well. We're getting all this bearish divergence. I'd be going down onto the lower time frame, looking for a nice impulse down, a correction, and then looking for a sell. It is quite risky. There are no sell setups on it at this stage, and it's risky to even trade this at this stage. Ideally we get something down in here for an A, B, C, and then we can look for a structure and look for a buy till we find some sort of a nice structure to a structure we can identify. It's going to be difficult to trade this there. Looking at the USD CAD, we're looking for that correction, a similar size to that over here. That's just about completing now. In this little section here, A, B, C, we don't have any bullish divergence. I'm only looking for the buy. We don't have any bullish divergence, but this time factor here is coming to an end on the daily. Whether we just get a C up here or it goes, we don't really know. This can be the end of the wave X, X2, and it can go and break the top. Or we just get a C up. Either way, I'm only looking for the buys. I've been looking for the buys on this for a couple of weeks now. Taking a couple of break-even trades and a couple of small losses on it. I'm trying to get these buys on the lower time frames, but nothing's changed. I'm only looking for this buy, and I'll be targeting this 100 fib. If price comes straight through this 100 fib, well, I'll keep it. But yeah, I'll be looking around this 100 fib for my target. There really isn't much. Well, there isn't a setup on it at this stage, but I am looking for a buy. on the H1, we sort of have a bear hidden here. But yeah, if I get a buy set up in here on the lower time frames, I will look to buy. Any buy setup I get, I'll be looking to buy this one. USD Swiss franc daily, nothing's changed. We've got that A, B, C. This was quite slow. I'm sort of looking for buys only up to this 50 fib. This can go up and break that top, as we know, but you know, I'll be first targeting that 50 fib as a, even if it's just some sort of a retracement. Like, you know, it may be quite choppy to get there. But again, it's not really giving us much setups like I've been looking for on the H4. I'm looking at that A, 1, 2, 3, breaking the low, and we get that 1, 2, 3 up as that expanding flat. This has been quite slow coming down here. I do hope we get another one down in here, breaking at least this low here. Then I can start to load up on the buys. It's really tricky because, you know, this was a nice sell in here, but it never went and broke that low. Shot back up, and now we don't have any bearish divergence either. So I'm looking for some sort of a structure the same size as this. So I'm sort of looking at some sort of an A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C before we get like the larger A, B, C down, finishing off this move, and then I can look for the buy. Yeah, it's pretty much like all the other majors. You know, they're quite difficult at this stage. EG on the daily, nothing's changed on the daily. Sort of looking for that A, B, C. We're getting that C down. We've lost all the bullish divergence. Not that that means much. Price can get down to this 100 fib here. I wouldn't expect it to get much lower than that 100 fib. We're sort of getting an extended wave. We've got a W, X, Y, X2, and extended wave Z down. In here, there's a bear hidden. So we have a bear hidden here. So more than likely this will go and break that low. I mean, it may give another one up here and then go and break the low, but I dare say this low will be broken with that bear hidden in play. Yeah, once we start to get bullish divergence, then you can start to look for the buys. At this stage, it's a little bit early because we possibly do have that bear hidden on the H4. H1, it has a bull hidden. So yeah, we sort of have a bull hidden in here. So yeah, it may come up here, just break that top, and then come down and break the lows. So this is going to be quite choppy, extremely difficult to trade. Ideally, it comes up here, breaks that top, falls over, breaks this low, and then you get a nice buy setup on it. You know, ideally. WTI on the daily. This is very tricky as well. You know, looking at that A, B, C, A, B, C. We've completed that. We have all that bullish divergence. The problem here is, like I've been mentioning for quite some time, this here is corrective. Whatever's happening in here, I was sort of looking for just an A, B, C in here. We're getting a large correction in there. On the H4, I thought this had completed here, like with that A, B, C, and I thought that was the top, and we come down and break the low. Instead, it's giving, we get an A, B, C in here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we may get like up in here as some sort of a 335 pattern, more complex correction before we get that one down for the A. All this is B, and then we get a C down breaking that low. I dare say that's what's going to happen. We'll get that complex correction in here, so it's going to be quite difficult to trade again next week, I dare say. Looking at gold, so I'm looking at that possible A, B, and a C. If I just look at this A, B, C in here, and then we get that A, B, C, and then we get that A, B, C as a larger flat before we get the A, B, C, possibly up to that 123.6 and the 161.8 on the weekly. This is very choppy, you know, coming down here. So that's probably a good thing because we're looking for the buy. We're getting all this bullish divergence, so just waiting for a buy setup on it. There's really nothing on it just yet. You'd really have to go down to the lower time frames and start looking for the buy. Yeah, it's just one move in here, so we may get some sort of an A, B. So we get an A, B, C in here for some sort of a flat, and then we get an A, B, C. Hopefully this finishes off the move, and you know, as soon as we start to get the bullish divergence, we want to start to then look for the buys. At this stage, it's very difficult to buy or sell on this. You know, we're getting that bullish divergence on the H4, so yeah, it starts to get difficult. We're just looking for buys, but you got to be really patient. That's the thing with trading. You got to be patient, waiting for the setups. Let the setups come to you, not the other way around. So silver, there's two scenarios on the weekly. This goes down and breaks the low for a wave Z, or the way I'm sort of looking at it as we got that WXY X to a Z up. We lost all the bearish divergence in the two tops, so I'm just looking for a correction in here and then another one up. This correction in here can go and break that low, but it makes it difficult to sell if it does break that low, especially if it breaks it in one wave. The H4, we are starting to get bullish divergence here by the look of it. But yeah, I don't think it's ready yet. I dare say we'll get some sort of a bear hidden in here, and we'll get another one down. We'll get a bear hidden in here, another one down, giving us a bullish divergence, and then you could start to look for the buys. Bitcoin on the daily. We're looking for a buy last week, so I hope a few of you's got this. I've been looking at this for a very long time, that WXY X2 and the Z up. It's gone and broken that top now. We should start to see bearish divergence forming here now. So if you've missed the trade, you've missed it. But yeah, so like I've been mentioning for quite a while, we got all that bullish divergence on the H4, so only looking for buys. I believe we were in here somewhere last week. This was looking really nice, and this was your buy setup to buy. If you've missed that, well, you just have to sit on the sideline for a while. There's not much you can do. unless you go down to the lower time frames and scalp. You may be getting a bull hidden in here, for example, on the M15, and you could look for another one up. Just scalping, you know. S&P 500. So this one's played out now. I was looking for it. If you recall, I put this trading view idea out over here somewhere, and looking for that C up. We got that A, B, C. It's bouncing off that 100 fib, and we do have. Do we have? I think we actually lost the bearish divergence on this one. Yeah, we did. We lost the bearish divergence between the A and the C, so it does make it a little bit difficult. But the buy's complete. You know, your first target. The H4, we got those 5 up, larger correction, and we got another move up. Is there going to be any more upside? It does look quite bullish still. I just see on the H4, I don't believe yeah. So really, it's hard to sell until this low here is broken. We may be getting a bull hidden here. So this may just keep on coming down very slowly, like it's coming down now, looking corrective, and then give us another one up. You'll have to be careful at this 100 pip, because, you know, the price may just come up to this 100 pip, give us a double top sort of a thing, and then bounce off again. So as soon as this top here is broken, you definitely, if you're in the buy, you definitely want to be at break even, or even take half off. The H1, we're starting to get bullish divergence in here. So yeah, I wouldn't really, I mean, if you got this is choppy in here, you got a B and a C as some sort of a flat, and then you look for a setup on the lower time frames, then you could look for another sell for an A, B, C. But yeah, I'd be more interested in the buy for that bull hidden, that possible bull hidden on the H4. AU 200. This one's turned into a larger correction. I was looking for this A, B, C, and then we get that A, B, C. This was looking nice here. It was going on for ages, and it did break out, and now it's come straight back down. So we're getting some sort of a correction in here. For an A, B, C, I still believe we'll get a one up. I mean, this has broken this top over here. Like, we really have got an A, B, C. This wave C has gone and broken that, the ending point of wave A. So technically this may be over and we go down and break the low. I was really hoping for a little bit more upside, but yeah, now it's pretty much ruined that upside. The H4, you can see what I was looking for, that that A, B, and C. It's come down and broke this low now. So we can only look for sells. You'd be waiting for a correction. You're waiting for a correction in here, and then you'd be looking for another one down. You have to wait for this correction, and that may take a week. And this wave here may not be over either, you know. So you got to wait for the wave to be over, wait for the correction, and then you can look for the sell. So it could be quite a while before we get trades on these indices. The FTSE on the daily. So this is very similar. You know, we got that A, B, C, A, B, C. Before we got an A, B, C. this wave up here has broken that top. So is that complete? Well, it's possible that it is. I was sort of looking for an A. All this is B and a C up. It's not even going to give that by the look of it. It was well, last week it didn't have that bullish divergence, so we couldn't look for the buys anyway last week. Last week we were looking for that 1, 2, 3 up and then look for the sell. We didn't have that bullish divergence, so that played out, you know, if you got onto a sell in here. We really got to see how far this goes, because this this B wave can come down and even break that low, and it'll still give another one up as some sort of a larger flat before we get A, B, C. So I would be staying out of it. Unless you're in on the trade already, I'd be staying out of it, because we'll start to get bullish divergence in here, and we've got to wait for this wave to be over and then decide if we're going to look for a buy or not. It really depends how far this goes. You know, it may come down and break the low. We got to wait and see what happens there. I dare say there's nothing. Well, if you wanted to trade it, you'd have to wait for a correction in here, like an A, get a B, nice B wave, and then you could look for the sell if you're not already on it. Looking at the DAX on the daily, this one finally might be getting a nice sell on it. Sort of, I've been saying for a very long time, we don't want to be buying, and it's just kept on going up very slowly. We're getting all this bearish divergence. I said last week, it's only a matter of time before this falls over. We sort of got that A, B, C. So I'd be looking for at least like an A, B, C. So I'm looking for downside. Is there a setup on it yet? No, there's not. But I dare say, yeah, I would be looking for the sell. If I just remove this and this. So I would be looking for a retrace. If you get a correction in here and it looks corrective in here, then you could look for a sell for an A, B, C, and it more than likely will turn motive, like a W, X, Y, X2 or Z down, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however you look at it. So this may turn motive. So, but we got to wait again. You know, we really need to see a nice correction in here on the lower time frames, like on the H1. We need to see a nice correction, and this may not be over in here. Like, this may not be over. This may be an A, B, get a C up here as some sort of a flat, and then you get like A, B, C. I would be waiting for the larger correction and then looking for the sell. So just waiting for this wave to be over, wait for your correction, and once you start to get sell setups after you see a structure that's complete, a corrective structure in here that looks complete, then you can start to look for the sell. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook and got something out of it. If you did, please hit the like button, share, subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.